Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the news flash on Message Television with me, Vanessa Long. Relief is on the way for the Grand North as the government has officially launched the reconstruction of the Ngaoundere Garoua Highway, a major transport corridor linking Cameroon's northern regions to the Chad Basin. The official kick-off ceremony was held on Monday, August 10, 2026, in Bay Adamawa region, under the supervision of the Minister of Public Works, Emmanuel Ngaoundere. For years, the 240.82-kilometer road has been in extreme poor condition, causing difficulties for motorists, slowing down the movements of goods and increasing travel times along one of the country's key commercial routes. The rehabilitation project is being implemented under Phase 4 of the Transport Sector Support Program with a total estimated cost of 221.6 billion francs CFA. The African Development Bank is financing 216.78 billion francs CFA, while the government is contributing to the remaining 3%. To accelerate implementation, the project has been divided into 5 slots awarded to Chinese construction companies. The CG Koch Group is responsible for the 50-kilometer section between Ngaoundere and the foot of Mbe Hill, as well as the 39-kilometer section from the foot of Bay Hill to Garoua Bridge. Sheikh is handling the 77-kilometer stretch from Garoua Bridge to Salah Bridge and the 56-kilometer section between Salah Bridge and Ngaoundere. The CWE, meanwhile, is responsible for the 56-kilometer section from Ngaoundere to the entrance of the Benue in Oroduka. Beyond the rehabilitation of the main highway, the project includes the construction of 3 toll gates, a weight station, and a rest area. It also provides for the rehabilitation of 15 kilometers of urban roads across 5 towns, as well as socio-economic infrastructure aimed particularly at women and youths. Work has already begun on the ground. As of August 10, 2026, Slot 5 had recorded an estimated 3.5% completion rate. A total of 126 Cameroonian and Chinese workers have been mobilized, while about 60% of the required equipment is already available on site. According to the Ministry of Public Works, the corridor transports goods from Chad worth approximately 350 billion francs CFA every year. Its rehabilitation is therefore expected to have a significant impact on regional trade. Once completed, the project is expected to strengthen Cameroon's position as a major transit hub for Chad and reinforce economic activity across the Grand North. A change in ownership at Chococam, one of Cameroon's major agri-industrial companies, is increasingly creating tension among employees at the Douala Bassa plant. At the center of the dispute is the transfer of a 74.69% of the company's shares from Tiger Brands to Mingma Capital. The transaction, estimated at approximately 46 billion francs CFA, was initially presented as the beginning of a new chapter for the Cameroonian chocolate manufacturer. But for workers, the transition has raised serious questions about the future of their jobs and social rights. Employees and their representatives are calling for clear, written, and sustainable guarantees to protect their employment and preserve the benefits they have accumulated over the years. The union particularly accused management of adopting what they describe as a unilateral and restrictive approach to the management of social funds. They also raised concerns over the handling of workers' mutual insurance funds and other social mechanisms. According to the union, several decisions have been taken without sufficient consultation with employee representatives. They argued that these measures are undermining a social climate that had previously prevailed within the company. Workers reportedly fear that the implementation of certain contractual provisions could result in financial losses for employees leaving the company. Union representatives are therefore demanding clarification on the applicable arrangements and compliance with existing agreements. According to the report, meetings and mediation efforts involving labor authorities have so far failed to produce a concrete solution. The atmosphere at the Douala Bassa plant therefore remains tense. I will now take you to the Far North region. A United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, says 308 people were abducted in the Far North region between April and June 2026. The report released on July 31 records an increase of 141 kidnappings compared with the same period in 2025, representing a rise of about 118% year on year. According to OCHA, the surge in abductions is a major indication of deteriorating security conditions in the region during the second quarter of 2026. The UN agency also documented 207 security incidents attributed to non-state armed groups during the period. These incidents left 72 people dead and 48 others injured. Although the number of deaths declined slightly compared with the same period in 2025, when 77 people were killed, OCHA says kidnapping remains the main threat facing civilians in the Far North region. The consequences extend beyond the victims and their families. OCHA says the abductions are fueling fear, restricting movements, and disrupting livelihoods. The insecurity has also forced some residents to flee to areas they consider safer while limiting humanitarian access to communities affected by the crisis. The UN agency points to new population displacements, a worsening measles outbreak, a cholera emergency, and persistent food insecurity, and additional challenges confronting communities across the Grand North. And to end this edition, after months of proceedings and intense courtroom debate, the Douala Military Tribunal has closed the hearings and is now set to deliver its judgment. Andre Blaise Esama is facing charges, including glorification of crimes and incitement to insurrection. Zipang Siakam's Scotty winner, meanwhile, is accused of violence and assault aimed at obstructing the enforcement of laws as well as disrupting the functioning of a public service. The defense has strongly rejected the charges. Lawyers Fabien Kenye, Augustin Gefak, and Michel Assong have challenged the jurisdiction of the military court while also questioning the evidence presented by the prosecution. During the hearings, Barrister Fabien Kenye raised concerns over a video cited by the prosecution as evidence. He argued that the video was neither formally submitted to the court nor subjected to adversarial examination. The defense maintains that the allegations have not been sufficiently proven and is seeking the acquittal of both defendants. The final decision is expected on August 18, 2026, when the Douala Military Tribunal would determine the fate of the two defendants in a case that has attracted public attention since the post-election unrest. And that was it for this edition, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned to Messager Television for programs continue.
Le Messager Télévision, à l'écoute du peuple.